Um, a while ago, about 4 months ago, I got had a messenger. So on one of my previous videos up on YouTube, I have the whole process from skinning a pheasant from start to finish. The whole process, preserving and stuff. And basically, on mistake of my own, and just bad camera angles, it missed the head being skinned. So I kind of worked on the head out of camera shot, if you get me. And I had a very valid question or comment asked of me, basically if I could show how the head was skinned. And it took me a while, and to that person, that subscriber, I do apologise for how long it's taken me. It's taken me 4 months. For one, I had to wait for pheasant season, shooting season to come in, and then I had to wait for someone to get me a full pheasant. Now I've started working on this, and this is the bird I skinned earlier on this morning. By skinning, I mean I've taken out the body. So it's primarily ready to go, and so you can see it's a full bird, really good quality bird. And what I've done is I've severed the neck from the body, so the neck is still in the bird here now, and I'm going to show how to do the neck and the head. And for that, before we do, we'll just put on the gloves. And the one thing I will say is, before I start getting into this, and you can see from how gory it is already on the table, viewer discretion is advised. So if you're someone that's squeamish, or someone that doesn't like guts, or there's not going to be no guts in this, but you don't like blood or anything like that, you don't like looking at body parts of animals and stuff, you probably would do you good now to turn away. But for those that are interested, will stick with me and we'll go through it. So like I said, this is a really good bird. It's a specimen bird, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom in on the head here so you can see it. So just from working on it now, I have here, you can see the neck. So the neck is here, and what I need to do is I'm going to spray it now. So I have water, and I'm just going to spray the feathers. And the reason I'm spraying the feathers is that enables me to separate the feathers from the skin, and it gives me a clean path of where I can cut the skin up along. So do that the whole way up along, and you can see me there. You can see it there. I'm clearing a path up along the feathers, up along the neck. So do that all the way up along. So you can see that there. So it's giving me, by doing that, it's giving me a nice path, you can see, all the way up along. So it's clearing the feathers. If you don't do this, what you'll do is you'll end up doing is pulling feathers out of the bird. And then when, you know, it's just you know, it's feathers. This technique is of separating the feathers is from taxidermy. So if you're a taxidermist and you're watching this, you'll know how to crack it. I don't think too many taxidermists will be watching this because they know how to do it themselves. But the whole, like, you know, it's easier with taxidermy, and this is, you could class it as a form of taxidermy, preserving the skin and stuff. But with taxidermy, is the aim is to separate the skin and skin the bird, but not lose any feathers, because when you put that bird back together and mount it onto a fake body, you want to have all them feathers falling back into place again. But just taking that process, and I'm going to go right up. You can see I'm spraying right up at the beak here, so I am, and I'm going to separate right up, all the way up. Just rub the feathers apart with the water. You can see I'm doing that there. I'll just turn it, a bit more water, and you can see it there. If you can see that. So all I'm doing is just siding the bird, siding the feathers, and it's giving me that nice little clear path all the way up to the beak, or just short of the beak. And now I'll take my scalpel. I have a scalpel here. Be careful with these, and all I'm going to do is just holding the now, it's not a sharp scalpel, I would say that, it could be sharper, but all I'm going to do now is, I'll just turn it this way, is I'm going to go back down this track I've done, and I want to cut the skin along this track. So trying to keep it in shot for you. As you can see there, I'm just going to go down that track there now. It doesn't matter, you can go up the body or up the neck or from the head down. But what you want to do is, because we're doing this for fly tying, I'm not worried about trying to keep this. I'm going to separate this whole neck and have it splayed like the body. So I'm just going up the neck with my scalpel, as you can see there, following that path that you cleared with the feathers, with the water. So all the way up along, you can see I'm separating it there from where it's where the neck is. Okay, this will allow us to really could do with probably changing the blade on the scalpel, but however. So I'm going to go all the way up. So let me change this here for you. So I'm going to go all the way up to the neck of the bird. So holding that there, careful not to slip with the scalpel, all the way up. You can see cutting up into the bird. Right up to the beak is where I'm going to go with. So once you've done that, you can see there now, I've right up to the beak is where I've gone. And what we're going to do then is I'm going to just start pulling the, and let these craw in. Craw is all the seed, the grain in his neck, so I've left that in, so sort of pull that out, put that there with the body. So I want to very carefully now just going to start pulling the membrane from the neck and separating the skin around the neck from the body, as you can see there. Just let me turn it around for you. Okay, so you can see that there. It's a bit gory and gooey looking and not nice looking, but I can assure you the finished package, or the finished thing, the finished when it's all finished, it's going to look really good. Now, so where we've done then, so this is where we have to skin the head now. Now I'm not keeping the head now. Again, like I have to point out, if I was mounting this bird as a standing mount to have as a pose, I'd be wanting to keep the head, but wanting to keep the skull inside this. So I would, but because we're not doing that, I'm not worried about having the skull or anything like that. But I do want the beak, you know, and the beak gives a nice. It goes towards the aesthetics of the finished parcel, the finished product. And that's what I want. So we have to very carefully now take the skin off the skull. So essentially, kind of still keeping in line with what you would be doing if you're mounting the bird. But what we need to do is we need to just. So I'm going to cut right up to the beak, as you can see there. Sorry, it's hard to keep this in. So what we need to do then is just very, very carefully now, because the tendons and membranes that are keeping the skin together around the head are quite strong. So just very carefully now, just peel back that skin off the head, as you can see I'm doing there. So just again keep cutting that membrane out using the scalpel. In around the eye, up around the back of the head. There's a lot of little kind of bones and tendons that are keeping the skin in place, which you, little membranes and stuff that you need to cut out of. I do this quite often, so like to me I make this look very easy, but the whole key to this is taking your time and going slow with it. Okay, it's not. It's, you know, just remember it's not a race. And the more of these you do, the actual easier it comes, and you actually learn to know then what basically what to cut and what to take away, and what keeps the head in place and stuff. We want, remember, we want all this skin, like we want the head and the feathers to go. So what we need to do is we need to very, very carefully, we need what we're aiming for is to skin back, so we're left with the beak. So now, like I said, the head is probably the hardest part to skin on a pheasant because of the how it's attached to the bones and stuff. All these little tendons and bones that are in the head makes it very hard. Not very hard, but very tedious. All these little things here. So basically, keeping tight to the skull, just cut them tendons. Cut them little bones there. You can see there's another bone there. Look. Cut that. Cut that. You're going to come down to the eye now soon enough. So there's the ear. So we come to the ear there now. So you can see it, that's the ear, okay. And what we need to do is we need to just come up, continue to come up, just pulling. Be very careful. You don't want to put a hole in the skin at this stage. Because remember, we can clear out all the head. We can clear the meat off the head, so we can. So again, just on that side, but I want to come over and do this side now. So just pull as you're cutting the tendons, pull the head back. That'll allow the head to come up the bird. And you're going to come to the eye. So there's the ear. There's a few little bones holding the skin, or little hard tendons holding the skin in place at the ear. So this, you want to cut them out of it. And come down. So we can cut all these off the skin. Coming up to the eye here now. As you can see. So you can see it there, we're kind of where we are with it now. So you won't really do this with by hand, you have to use a knife or a scalpel, but just be very careful. For one, not to cut yourself, but for two, not to damage the skin when you're doing this, because it just means that it's more holes to sew up at the end of it if you want it to look proper. So we're coming over the eye here now. So there's the eye. So coming over that now, it's quite gory looking. So what I like to do here is I just cut into the eye. So I do. And I just freeze that skin. Just like that. So we're coming down over the eye there now. And again, just cut into the eye there. If I was mounting this bird now as a standing pose, I wouldn't have slid up the neck. I actually would have had to try peel the skin back and its whole off the neck. But it's a similar process. It's an easier process when you're only doing it for kind of fly tying. You're just preserving the skins for fly tying, you know, as it is to when you have to try to do a standing mount. But so we're at the eyes here now. So what we need to do now is, this is where you can make a mistake here now. The ears and the eyes are where you can make a mistake and cut the skin. Now there's a hard bone around the eye that we need to cut away. And that basically keeps the skin in place around the eye socket. And once you release the eye from the skin, you've made significant progress. Now don't cut the eyelid of the skin, because I'm going to show you now when I get this off. But you can see it there now. So basically, there's the eye, and you can see all the membrane, the bones in around it, and there's the eye socket, or the eyelid of the skin. It's all these little membranes here now that are basically keeping the skin on the bird, on the head. And this is what we have to be very careful, because at this stage you could cut the skin. And last thing you want after, you know, like I said, I always aim not to have holes in my skins. It's hard, you know, but we can sew it up afterwards. But you don't, you know, aim to be careful. And this is why I always say take your time. So you're not going to you're basically not going to butcher the head and have a load of holes in it. So okay, so I'm just going to switch it over, and I'm going to come down the other side the very same way now. So just so once you've cut into that eye and you've released, you can see that there's another hard membrane there, kind of a ligament or a bone or something there. It's more a ligament, but it's really holding the head in place there. And we're nearly down onto the beak now, so a little bit of a bone there. I don't want that on the skin. So you can see here we've basically got that now where we need it. A little bone there. So cutting down. Now I just want to get the head. So I'm where I need to be now on the bottom here, on the bottom of the beak. So I am. So the next process for that is very simple. I'm going to show you now in a minute. So as you can see there where I have the skin now, and so the skin is on both sides of the beak. So I have it all cleared up to the beak, which is where I want to be here on this side of it. So it's more the head part of it, or the top part here now, where you can see that we need to just be careful and come down over the eye, just cutting them tendons or them ligaments that are keeping the skin attached. And you want to come right down to the beak on this. But be very careful, because as soon as you hit the beak, this is where you can go through the skin as well. So this is where you want to be extremely careful now, not to go through it. So I'm just on the base of the beak here now. I just want to separate that little bit of a bone or ligament there. Just come in. So I'm just basically on top of the bone there now, on the beak. So there's a little bit of a membrane there. I want to take that out of the eye. There we go. So I have one side completely separated from the eye there now. One side, so it's completely separated from the eye there now, as you can see. completely separated and just sitting on top of the beak. And same with this side here. I just need to basically cut this off here. You can see that there. It's a piece of a tendon, but you don't want that on it. So what we want to do is we want to cut that out, just like that. And then what we want to do, so that's sprung back in there, and we want to come in. And the same thing, what we want to do is we want to come in and just be very careful, just down here, be very careful, because like I said on the other side, this is where you'll go through the beak, or go through the skin. So once you're on the beak, now that's separated. Lump of skin or meat there on the side there that I just don't really want to have on it. So I'm going to just kind of take my time and just going to peel that back off. So once we got to that point there, so now you can see it. So now you can see there. So the head is off it. Okay. And it's right down onto the beak. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a shears, garden shears. I'm going to cut that little bit of a tendon over there first. So I'm going to take the garden shears. Maybe I should go down a small bit more there. Just, you want to be on the beak when you're doing this. Before you make that cut, you want to make sure you're on the beak. So I just need to come down a bit more. And so don't come down too far on the bottom now, because what will happen is you'll remove the beak. So I have it there. So now I can come in. Sorry, I don't know. It's just what I was doing. I kind of went out camera again. It's kind of hard when you're doing this head, but I was cutting basically. I was separating it just there, basically, from the beak. So I have the beak here now, and as you can see, that gap in here. That's just the beak now, okay? So all there is the beak, and it's the back there, and there's the bottom. So it's ready now just to basically come in, and right there you have your tongue there, look. There's your tongue. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come in the bottom, cut that there, cut that up here just above the eyes, and come back and cut that there. And that's what all I'm going to do. And then with a knife we've separated the head. The beak is still attached, so you can see there now. So there's the head minus the beak. Okay. So we have it all there. And there, when you turn it back in. Now obviously there's a little bit of cleaning out to be done. There, a little bit of meat in there now that has to come out. But other than that, there you have it. There's the beak and the head, and no holes in it, and ready to be cleaning out. So you can see all the fat there now that needs to come out. This is quite an old bird, quite a lot of fat in it, but that's basically how I done the head. So just I cut up the neck. So just pulling the bird back into, can't view the camera. So I've just cut up the neck. So I have it, the neck splayed out there, and you know, next step now is to clean the fat, clean all the fat off it, clean the meat from out the beak here. So just whatever meat is in the beak, just clean that out, things like that. And what I'll do then is I'm going to wash it. Like in the last process I didn't wash it, but I washed this one because it's quite bloody. I wash it with the step I have online for treating. So borax, laundry detergent, and dishwashing soap. And quite a hole there where it actually got shot. This bird was shot at point blank there, so you can see there's quite a hole in the bird there. You can see my finger. So that'll need to be sewed up, but again, it's an easy thing to do. It's, you know, it's not the end of the world. But that's basically how I done the head, and I hope this video actually has helped in doing that. So what I'll do now is off camera now. I'm not going to continue the whole process because I already have a video done it, but I'll continue to clean this bird out now, and what I'll do then is we'll wash him, and then I'll sew him up, and then I'll start the boraxing process then to dry the skin. So basically, I hope this has helped. I hope this is a good video for you. And you know, don't hesitate to get in touch, or don't hesitate to comment or contact me on the comments if you have any questions. So, thanks for watching.